Okay, and I am back for a little bit, trying to work out our Nix woes. And basically, the aim here is to try and build this GStreamer based example. In main, we have some code there that I imported from the GST Hello World example from Haskell GI, which is an example of how to use the gi.gst library. And I am not very good at Nix. That's an understatement. And so I am struggling a bit on how to wire things up. And it seemed like I'm trying to use Haskell Nix, because that's what we seem to be on our way to using at work. But I seem to not quite have the knowledge to pull it off right now. So let's see. What Haskell Nix says is that supposedly when we are needing to map non-Haskell dependency to Nix packages, then what seems to be the case is that if we do Nix build, it tells us that it can't find library GStreamer-1.0 installed. In fact, that's not exactly what it tells us here, and that's because we are in Haskell GI, whereas I want it to be, in fact, in Streamline here. And Nix build. And how I understand this is that there should be a mapping from the library name that is found in attempt to call something is not a function but a set. Okay. So that's different from the error that we had before. I think it's because it's trying to build with default.nix. Maybe. I've been trying to do Nix shell, in fact, so far, not Nix build. Nix shell should pick shell.nix. Right, yeah, that's right. So it says the pkgconf packages does not contain the package gstreamer10. And how I understand it is that there's this mapping going on from non-Haskell dependencies that are harvested by the Haskell.nix tooling from pkgconfig-depends, which happens to be in a library that we depend on. But the way that is done is a little bit convoluted because those are auto-generated bindings, and so even the cabal file is auto-generated. But it seems like what is used for the auto-generation of the pipeline is this JSON file that contains a pkgconfig-depends, with pkgconfig-depends here, and that means it's going to be set to GStreamer 1.0, and that corresponds to the error message. So how I understand this is that the Haskell.nix tooling is picking up this GStreamer-1.0 dependency, and then it uses pkg-conf to try and find it, but doesn't find it. So maybe I should try to remove the GI-GST library. And I have a pkg-config-depends right here as well. Didn't realize this. Is that because I copied this from the example? Where is the example? Here, I think. No, it can go. Have way too many things opened. Haskell GI and examples. And I think it's in introductory. No, maybe not. Might be in advanced. GST Hello World. Yeah, I picked it up from Haskell GST example, and the Hello World does not contain a pkg config depends. So here it seems like it's actually building stuff. So it's just going to not be able to build the main.hs because we depend on gi.gst. But if it gets us into the shell, then that should be enough. But maybe we don't want to be. Maybe this Haskell.Nix shell is somewhat too intrusive. I mean, I like the fact that it has JC 8.10.4, but I dislike the fact that it doesn't have the Haskell language tooling. So maybe I want to actually head for in another direction here and manage dependencies manually, because this whole mapping thing has not been working very well for us, especially I think because it's over our pay grade in terms of Nix understanding. But at least we're compiling something, which we weren't before the break, so that's not bad. And let's see. So to go back to this question of the mappings, what I didn't understand is that it's expecting a GStreamer 1.0 mapping to be available. And it seems that with this project .nix, I should be providing a mapping in the way that it's mentioned here, but as an overlay, which seems like slightly different than making it available as a pkg config thing. So I don't know whether maybe it's about whether GStreamer 1.0 actually installed the pkg config stuff, or if it's nothing to do and there's something more fundamental I don't understand. It seems also that some of the examples, this is called pkgconf nix package map, and that seems like that's definitely the type of thing that we want, except that if we look specifically at this file, which is, okay, I must have closed it. We see that it's this big mapping, but GStreamer should be there, except it's not there under the name GStreamer 1.0. It's there under GStreamer audio, bass, and other things. And then it maps to GStreamer. And the weird thing is that GStreamer seems like it's not available as a root package anymore. It seems like everything is in GST all-1 for some strange reason. So yeah, I'm a bit confused about where things are supposed to be. And maybe I should see whether there's anything else related to GStreamer in this code base. Doesn't look like it. So yeah, it's a little bit strange. GIGlib has been built. So that's the fact that this is not in the cache is understandable. So let's try and understand this. Map ATTRs must be a function that takes, so this would take a name and a value. So right, map ATTR basically maps over the set, expecting an array of, returning an array of value. Right, array value. I think it's past pkgs, and that's the set, attribute set that gets passed to map ATTRs, and then it's being something is added to it. So it transforms an attribute set into a list of names, or lists of, yeah. an attribute set into a list of attribute names. I think this is the this concatenates, this joins two attribute sets, I think. Oh, we're in the Nix shell now. Okay. So, well, is there anything GST here? No, there's nothing GST. But what if I Nix REPL? Well, Nix packages is not going to make it, right? Right, is the pkg config installed here? There isn't. Huh. Maybe I should Nix build. Can I Nix build? Well, Nix build didn't work earlier, right? I think because it was trying to build default.nix, and our default.nix is to be deficient. Default.nix says that we call something which is not a function but a set. So it seems that default.nix should be a function. Shell.nix is a function. So let's just, can we Nix build shell.nix? We can. And it's created a GST shell for Streamline, huh? That we could potentially run. What's in there? GST env with GI base and GI glib. So it's kind of a wrapper, I think. This env thing must be a wrapper. Let's see what's in there. It's a directory. Oh, what? What binaries does it have? Okay, the Haskell things. Huh. Okay, well, let's not try to understand how a shell environment works. But visibly, yeah, this might be created by the shell 4 thing, I suppose. So how come our default.nix is not right? And do we need to use materialization? I mean, one of the things that I was trying to follow at the beginning, but I think I'm just doing a poor job at taking one thing and digging properly into it, was the Scribe workshop stuff. Where is that? It's not there. Okay, let's create the Scribe workshop. I think I want it from GitHub directly. And right, so I wasn't patient, so I actually didn't properly follow things, and I think that's back. Yeah, that's working against me for sure. Next, so package management is where we want, and we started looking at dependency management and at it's not dependency management we're looking at. Is it by basic Haskell? No, maybe. Yeah, it is. Haskell.nix, yeah. Alternative approach to manage Haskell.nix. Unlike the mono version, Haskell packages and Nix packages, Haskell.nix gives more flexibility, allows interoperability with the multi-version approach of package management with Cabal. makes it much easier to add bleeding edge dependencies from a package. Haskell Nix also offers many other features such as cross-compiling. That shall be useful. Biggest hurdle of adopting Haskell Nix is unfortunately to properly add Haskell Nix as a dependency in your Nix project. From the first section of the project README, as mentioned, the most important step to start using Haskell.Nix is to add the Hydra Nix cache. We've done that. Haskell.Nix based derivation. Aside from that first hurdle, defining a Haskell.Nix based Nix derivation is relatively straightforward. First, we define the project.Nix. And okay, so that's actually GitHub transclusion, I believe. So let's go to Haskell project v1. Nix 3 Haskell.Nix and project.Nix. So that looks pretty much exactly like what we have, except the sources.nix is not coming from there. We added an overlay, but apart from that, Haskell project source, this new style, JC, blah. So here we are good. So let's take a look at the default.nix that's sitting next to it. And that also looks exactly like what we have. So we use the version of Haskell.Nix package managed by Niv and import it. Here we'll also use the version of Nix packages provided by Haskell.Nix, which adds additional functionalities in nixpackage.haskell.nix. We then call the function Haskell Nix package haskell-nix.cabal project. That's this guy, to define a cabal-based Haskell Nix project. We provide the Haskell source code through the src attribute and also compile a Nix name field to specify the JC version we want to use. To actually build our Haskell project, we define a default.nix to build the hello executable we have in our project. A Haskell.nix project can have multiple derivation outputs for each cabal component. For our case, we do not have any library, but have one executable named hello. To load that, the executable is arbitrarily located in a long and obscure path, project.haskell.project.component.exe. Hello, yes. So if we do Nix, if we do Nix build dot, or not. Still not. So apparently if we do Nix build in the folder, it should just work, except in our case, we seem to have some difference somewhere. So we don't use materialization, so it could be that that is the culprit. Attribute Haskell dash project missing. Project.haskell dash project. And maybe it's project.project. Do we have what's the dealio? Project.nix project is so. Attribute components missing. Okay, Nix REPL project.nix. This streamline in there. Um, mm, well, what's in Streamline? Project. Actually, components is in there. And .exists. Okay, so maybe things have been shifted around. So it seems like it's project.streamline.components.exes, and is it streamline again then? Yeah. Okay, let's try this. Okay, and listening spelled. All right. Right, okay, so we do expect this. So we expect it because we removed our dependency. Okay, so let's try to add GIGST again, and maybe without pkg config depends, and see what's up. Yeah, so that dependency is anyway still needed because it's in GIGHC, right? GSC. Will it help if I show the trace here? pkg-conf dependency. pkg-conf dep error. Discharge. So wow, there's a big trace. GIGST 103 setup. From setup builder, it evals pkg config. Right, do we have pkg config in the shell? I think I tried this just now. Yeah, and that's annoying. Maybe, is there a way that I can make the shell more independent of the configuration? I mean, I quite like the fact that like the previous Nix setup that I've been playing with weren't so. I had more latitude to enter the shell without having everything to build properly. Okay. pkg-conf dependency. pkg-conf. Make kebab project packages set. Wasn't there something like that somewhere? There was a make. Not a kebab thing, okay. pkg-conf dep error. You type nix module.nix plan.nix. Merge values, attr sets, pkg-config. G. strange. Static executable. Shell 4 is what we're using here. So exec depth tools. Can get cabal. Developing one or more packages with GHCI or cabal v2 build, but not stack. It's fine. Package selection function takes a list of Haskell packages, components, exec dev tools, input from list of other shells to include in this one. Build input and native build output, of which will be included using mk shell. Reproducible development environment for Haskell projects. That's for multi-package projects. Get a stackage snapshot using Nix REPL. It's sometimes useful to load Haskell.nix in the REPL to explore ITTR sets and try examples. Example.nix rec. What's rec? Then load the example file. Let.file take 5 package names. Now that you have Nix tools and are able to import Haskell.nix, you can continue to the next chapter. And do we have Nix tools? This has nothing to do with Nix tools, but it says now that you have Nix tools. I think these are the Nix tools. To open a shell for you, this cabal, Nix shell -a shell 4. Nothing seems to work. I think, yeah, it's okay. Your package name.component library, cross compile. Yeah, this just doesn't work. think it's so flexible that people end up doing wildly different things. And where we're seeing from the Scribe workshop is just completely different from what the Haskell Nix documentation recommends. And oh, that was it. No, that was not it. Okay. Map. Same thing open many times. HLS for later. Scribe workshop. Yes, that is indeed what I'm looking for, but it's the GitHub version I want, and it's just here. So the Haskell.nix, for instance, don't use NIF, so that's a difference. We've done this. We haven't tried the naive approach, but maybe if we read a little bit through it, it will help us understand what's up. Haskell project. Ah, right. Yeah, of course. Their project is called Haskell project, that's why. Source root is Haskell project source. HTTP blah cd kebab build. Yeah, I'd quite like something like that. Tries to build with kebab directly. Maybe I have that and I call this kebab.nix, and if we can get something to work with this, maybe it'd be preferable. That looks familiar. So right. And the path is dot/dot, of course. I suppose once you see it once, you never forget it again. Yeah, except name is going to be streamline. And so we have GHC and we do kebab build. So that indeed, that feels like the naive way, but I don't necessarily mind so much. The question is, which GHC version do we get from this? Probably 884, I would assume. Oh no, 8.10.2. Okay. Well, it's not 8.10.3, but it's 8.10.2. I'm kind of okay with that. Especially because I think that that would give us HLS. Hold on, is it building Haskell? No, those seem like libraries, I think. It's going pretty fast. It's going faster than usual. But I think it is rebuilding Haskell. It's at least building the base libraries. So none of this is in the cache. I'd say in 2. How come it's not in the cache? Should be in Nix packages, right? That's not the cache, but there is a cache. So why? Yeah, it is rebuilding GC right there. Okay, let's try a new update. I think we can pin the GC version as well. We probably do want to do that. But it did fetch a newer Nix packages archive. And there seems to be lots of cache things. That's much better. And it's GC 10.2 still, but at least I think those look like cache things. All pages are currently in use. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, is that all the... Yeah, okay. Did it not stop the build that was underway? No, it does look like it's not building anymore. Okay, so it could be that we need to change the number of builder because I think it's getting confused because of, yeah, it's being confused because of the number of cores. So, you know, I kind of prefer that. I think it's fast. It was building faster also because we're running Cabal directly, and Cabal I think is much smarter at using all cores. Except now it's trying to use way too many cores. But there's a fix for that. Remember we implemented it when we installed NixOS. And yeah, there was a thread by Gabriel Gonzalez on GitHub somewhere about Nix and it's not there. Number of cores or max builders. I think that was, maybe it's in here. It was an issue somewhere. Dead links. Another tutorial. Nix and Haskell in production. Didn't know about that one. Max Builder. Build max jobs. Max jobs to auto. That is not the one. Okay, I suppose we can maybe do max jobs equals 23. Not that. Not with Nix shell, visibly. How about with Nix build? Look like it. Is it a position, flag position problem? Build max jobs. Course number. Dash max jobs. I see, no equal. Wow. Yeah, everybody's completely pinned. But is this rebuilding Haskell again? That semi-group byte string. Yeah, the thing is that I don't know whether these things are cached or not. Maybe that's just inconvenience compared to Haskell.Nix. So I think that's what we're doing. We still build the root project using Cabal. Ideal for development as it's for incremental builds. Or Nix build the root project for you, and that's best for continuous integration. So is it just, I mean, we don't do Cabal build here, but we also don't do, we don't do new build. That's one thing. Not sure why. And also, I'm not sure whether this implies enable Nix or not. But we shall try this. I mean, it's not Haskell. It looks like those are actual dependencies that we're building now. We're not building GHC. Doesn't seem. So I don't know about enable Nix. Let's see. Nix basics, dependency management, advanced dependency management. So it doesn't say whether this is about workflow 1 or workflow 2. Emphasis on this guide be as robust as possible, gracefully handle writing Haskell projects at scale. The main benefit of using Nix over stacks are binary cache, space efficiency, generality, blah blah blah. Before you begin, you must install Nix. You must also install Cabal to Nix and Nix prefetch Git. You need to install Cabal if you haven't done so already. Make sure you haven't fairly decent version of Cabal. So yeah, it's really not a NixOS thing, but okay, basics. Simplest possible Haskell project, simple possible Nix derivation to build that project. Okay, let's look at it. Project0.cabal. There's a main file and some stuff. And then there's a project 0 Nix. So we're supposed to build it with release 0, okay? And release 0 imports Nix packages and imports, or does Haskell packages.call package? With project0.nix. And I suppose we need to know what this is. Whoopsie, what did I do? Did I just close everything? No. Yes, make it my default browser, please. And yeah, but yeah, okay. Packages.call packages, Haskell packages.nix, and call packages is this thing. Use scope. Here Haskell libs override Haskell package override. Okay, that's great, but where's the documentation for this? Why is everything so obfuscated? Now there's this function and it calls project0.nix. Is that really supposed to be the simplest thing possible? So I think that's a fairly standard thing. No, I think that's what you call call packages with. And I don't know how to read this. Call packages. Right, there are different compilers. Apparently JC10.4 has made it in there, so that might be because it's master. And call. So it seems that everything is using call packages or call package. Always get compilers from build packages. Who knows what that means? And yeah, JC901 is there as well. Bootstrap package set, self-super, and MK derivation that looks a bit like the other MK derivation, but not exactly. Renaming a project equal project 0. Okay, maybe it is actually explained here because Gabriel Gonzalez is actually a really good educator. So let's read him. This directory contains simplest possible Haskell, blah. You can think of a derivation as language agnostic recipe for how to build something, such as a Haskell package. You can build this Haskell package by running blah. It's going to run the things. I've highlighted the part that mattered the most for a simple example. Don't expect the hash pass in the above example output to necessarily match the ones you get. Project 0.keval file only specifies a single dependency of base lower than 5, and Nix picks the latest base package below version 5. In this case, base 4.9 satisfies the dependency. Nix then builds a project, so the build output in Nix store blah project and creates a symlink named result pointing to that directory in the Nix store. Right now, the content of that directory are just an executable file and an empty library directory. As the project grows more complex, we'll see additional build outputs in this directory. We can run the executable stored in the result bin subdirectory. The output makes sense since our main.hs is just a simple hello world program. What happens if we try to build a project again? This might seem odd at first since you'd expect Nix to reuse the cache result from our first build. However, Nix does not reuse the first build because our project suddenly changed. Our Nix build deposited a result symlink which was not there before. Our Nix derivation depends on the current project directory, so if anything in the current directory changes, the Nix perform a complete rebuild of a project. We can verify this by removing the symlink and then performing the build again. This time we get a cache hit and we use the first build since our directory is now bit for bit identical. These waitful rebuilds are one reason that I don't recommend using Nix build to build a root Haskell project. Instead, the next section describes how to use Cabal with Nix to avoid issue of wasteful rebuilds. If you ever need to bootstrap your own project using Cabal init, then run yeah, we do, but we do not plan to install GHC globally. Yes, exactly. Instead, we use Nix shell to transiently provide GHC just for direction of a Cabal init command. But we did that before, and yeah, it just gave us a Cabal init that seemed a bit old, which is why I was interested in this, but it's fine. You can open a development environment for this project instead of a Nix shell by running nix shell --attr-env release 0.nix. Normally Nix shell would require --attr flag since Nix shell is designed to automatically compute the necessary development environment from the original derivation. However, Haskell derivations are different, and Nix shell doesn't work out of the box on them. Haskell derivations are records that include an env field, which Nix shell can use to compute the correct development environment. In Nix, field is called an attribute, so we pass the --attr-env flag to specify that Nix shell should compute the development environment from the derivation record's env attribute. Once we open up the development environment, we can use Cabal to build and run the project 0 executable. It looks like it's really rebuilding the world here. Well, we have an way of knowing. We can use the Cabal file from this project. Even use the main .hs from this project. Rename this for now. And I have a hello world. Let's follow the, let's do a little bit of tutorial, huh? We clearly are not on top of things here, and I like Gabriel Gonzalez's way of thinking, so that feels better already. And yeah, let's do this. Let's maybe call it streamline though, and let's just say that let's just hide dependencies, right? Let's just say streamline and then just say that it has base in it. And then we do the Nix shell incantation that he recommends, which has this attr-env thing. And we run it with what? Well, our release is going to be something else, right? What is our release going to be? I suppose we can make it be that. How about we do release 0.nix, and then you say Nix shell --attr-env and release 0, and you want a project 0, and we have a project for you. Is that going to be enough? Well, this is the Haskell Nix thing, so no, it's not going to be all right. We want the project 0 thing. Okay. Okay, we're in a Nix shell. What's the GHC version? 884. So that's the one that's in the head for some reason. And I think here there wasn't anything about configuring the GHC version yet. So we just we're supposed to Cabal configure. Okay, Cabal configure. Ah, okay, yeah. Seems happy. And Cabal run streamline. Hello world. And Cabal will be smart, and it says up to date. Yeah. You can exit the Nix shell. Exit. The Nix shell provides all necessary dependency for your project in the Haskell toolchain, except for Cabal. For example, inside the Nix shell, you will see that you're using a GHC provided by Nix, regardless of whether or not you have a global GHC provided. Yeah, and our which GHC is a 884. Cabal configure step automatically picks up the GHC toolchain package database provided by Nix and uses them for all subsequent Cabal commands. Nix package's manual notes that if you only have Haskell dependency, you can also just run the following command once. Okay, and then run all the other Cabal commands without the Nix shell. Oh. However, if you have non-Haskell dependencies, then this won't work. When in doubt, just get used to develop inside a Nix shell, since that helps people translate well to a non-Haskell projects managed by Nix. Note, I recommend using Cabal to build a root project during Haskell package development, but subsequent example, we still use Nix build to keep the example short. The release 0 Nix file specify how to build the project using Nix. Yes, call package. I don't recommend reusing the above derivation for your Haskell project. There are several ways that we can improve upon this derivation that we'll address in later example. This derivation begins by, it's explained, yes. Thank you, Gabriel. Begins by importing Nix packages, which is a Nix channel. You can find all your officially supported Nix channel here. The default Nix installation will subscribe you to some channel. Release of Nix packages, a package repository for Nix. You can tell which release of Nix packages you're using by running this command. 2009. You can also obtain the exact Git revision of the Nix package repository that your channel was cut from using this command. Okay, right, so here we're not using sources.nix, but that that's probably fine. Okay, should be very careful about using a stable release on OS X because the public binary cache only caches OS X built products for the unstable channel. If you try to use a stable channel on OS X, you're at a very high risk of recompiling things from scratch, including JC. Oh, so maybe we want to be on unstable, and then maybe we'll have although it seems like for NixOS maybe we don't want to. Let's stay here. Pinning Nix packages. Even stable channels are still not frozen. Stable channels are like major releases and they periodically receive blah. Okay, in a corporate environment you can pin Nix packages to specify a Git revision illustrated as in release 1.nix. Where Nix packages.json was generated using the Nix prefetch Git tool. Aha. So that's, yeah, that's a package.lock kind of thing. But it seems like that's also something that niv does, except we're not using niv here. But I suppose that if we did import like so, then we would be using niv all of a sudden. And maybe that's what we want to do. Okay. So now let's exit the shell and let's re-enter the shell. And well, so it doesn't rebuild anything quite, but which GHC here? Still 884. I haven't saved. Attribute Haskell package missing. Is it because we don't want the Haskell.nix? Is that overriding the Nix package? Exit the Haskell package. Oh. And are we already were in the Nix shell? No, it just crashed. Okay. Niv update. Oh, it still thinks that Haskell.nix is a thing. So niv drop, I think. And niv updates. And then we're in Haskell GI. So we need to go back to Streamline and niv drop Haskell.nix. And clearly it upset him that it did that. So, oh, stream, no, not stream. There we go. And then we new update. So that is master. That's more than unstable. Or is master unstable? We'll find out. Let's do the shell thing. Nix shell attr amp release 0 not Nix. Haskell package is missing. So it doesn't work if we do that. Whereas if we do Nix packages, then it does. So maybe it moved. Yeah, it must have moved. What? What's the good way to find out these things? I wonder. Nix packages, GitHub. I suppose we can look at a tag like 2009 and 2009 would have the Haskell packages. But we can't search in the past, which is ridiculous. Okay, I suppose that if we do Nix REPL with Nix packages, then we can do Haskell. Except we don't want to do it with Nix packages. We want to do it with the NIF thingy. And we did that before, but I already forgot how you do it. I think we want to import Nix sources.nix. With Nix packages. A set was expected. I mean, it is a lambda. Key sources. It's really hard to tell what the function signature is. Boy, how did I forget this already? Nix REPL with niv sources. Oh, empty set. No. You should separate identifier. I see. Oh, what? Then you need to import YOLO. I could never find this. And then YOLO to .haskell, except that something is up. Okay, import. Okay, and it's downloading the world. So what's your problem then? It seems to be fine. Damn. That's the problem. Starting to understand just a tiny bit about what's going on here, thanks to Catch Chris. Thank you, Catch Chris. Much appreciated. So I think we can, yeah, ATTRM and release 0 now. Yes. Yes. JEC 10.4. That's what I like to see. So we should have, yes, we have fresh caches. That's lovely. Oh, hey, Swarm Collective. How you doing? Hello again. Okay, so now we're in an Nix shell and we have JEC 8.10.4. So I like that. So, you know, I'm still in Nix things, but decided to follow the Gabriel Gonzalez's tutorial because I think he's a great writer, great educator, and so I'm going through that, and I'm learning. I think finally learning some things. Cabal to Nix. Second half of our release 0 Nix derivation contains instruction to build our project. Right, call package blah. Reference another file in the same project called project0.nix. This file was generated using cabal.nix. Oh, it was, huh? But we don't have cabal.nix right here. But, oh, that's what happened. I see. All that cabal.nix does is translate our project0 cabal file into a corresponding Nix expression. For comparison, here's the original project0 cabal. Yep. Anytime you update a Haskell project cabal file, you need to regenerate project0 Nix file using cabal to Nix. Yes. Release 2.nix illustrates the next improvement we can make to our project Nix derivation. The difference is that now our file returns a set, the Nix term for dictionary of derivations. This set only has one attribute, a key named project0, whose value is the derivation to build our Haskell project. Main motivation for this change is that Hydra, Nix continuous integration system, requires that project build files are a set of derivations with one attribute per build product. If you try to build a naked derivation with Hydra, you get weird errors. Okay. Second, lesser reason for this change is that this makes it easy to add additional build products to your project. This comes in handy when you want to build and test dependencies or extra tools that you rely on. You can still build the project using Nix build, either by specifying to build all derivations in the set, or by specifying the attribute of the derivation you want to build using the same -attr flag we introduced before for Nix shell. Okay, yes, I think that makes sense. So that's in release and just says that we say something like streamline equal. And that's fine. And so now when we do Nix shell, then do we do env again or do we do not do env? Don't know. But you're expecting some semicolon right there. Okay. cdflib deprecated will be removed in the next. Okay, that's fine. I don't know where we are importing that from. Maybe niv. I don't know. Okay. So now we're in the shell, but we were already in the shell. So let's exit the shell twice and then go in the shell this way. Check our GHG version. Okay, do we have streamline? We don't have streamline, but I don't think we need that. Okay. You can also avoid to type this every time you initialize the project by creating the following shell.nix file. Aha! So now we get into shell.nix things, and I'm going to call this back. Back. To create a new shell file. And we'll import what is still really 0 for us. We need to call it like so, and then do well, we called it streamline.env, right? So we still need the env indeed, and so now we won't have to type it when we do Nix shell. Note that Nix provides the --shell option to generate a shell.nix file suitable for the current project. However, this does not play nice with advanced dependency management. I do not recommend this approach. Well, thank you very much, Gabriel. This is a very nice first page for building with Nix. And so we're just not going to pin, but we know we could pin our dependencies. And we're just going to move to the next section, I believe. Dependencies. This project now depends on the turtle package in order to illustrate some dependency management basics. The main HS executable contract project that uses turtle gratuitously for the echo function. Let's be gratuitous. The release 0.nix file is the same, except that now we have our project 1 instead of project 0, but we don't need to change that. And we've changed the name of the corresponding Nix file to project1.nix rather than project 0.nix. It's all good. I'm actually, I'm going to keep those zeros. Concept of our project1 file, project1.nix file has changed as well. It's because our project1.cabal file now have a new turtle dependency. We'll see the corresponding change in the project.nix generated by cabal to nix. Okay, so we'll exit here and we will install cabal nix env -i, and we'll install cabal to nix. That's probably going to create a streamline.nix, which I think is totally fine. Cabal to nix, yes. And this takes a thing, and I suppose it takes the streamline.cabal file. No. Missing URI. Yeah, local path. Okay. Is that gonna work? Yeah. Oh no, you're downloading a thing now. Okay. Still trying to download a thing. Okay, file. Interesting. No such file. Homeless shelter? What? Unable to open repository. Yeah, do you want a full qualified path? What? Okay, let's go back in time there. Did I miss something about how to use cabal to nix? Cabal to nix dot. I see. To nix dot, and we send this to streamline.nix. And now streamline.nix has all the things, and so we remove project 0.nix. And in release 0, which we'll call release now, we'll import streamline.nix. And then if we nix shell, we just need to update this, and we need a set. in shell.nix. Streamline. Next. What did I do? Streamline.nix is this thing. Release.nix is now like so. And shell.nix needs to import release.nix, not streamline.nix. We're in the shell. And yeah, we needed to add turtle to our dependencies. And yeah, just run kebab to Nix again. Then into the Nix shell. Yeah. So we have all things in the cache, downloads very fast, and now we should be able to do kebab run streamline, and it should just echo. Oh, it needs to build first. But yeah, echo hello words. So we are good again. What else? Yeah, so if we look at streamline.nix, we should see that it says depends on base and turtle now. Indeed, it does. And neither file specify what version of turtles depend on. Yeah, because Nix resembles stack and provides a curated package set. Yes. We can find the curated package set there. Yes, yes. And which correspond roughly to the Nix packages and stable release. Let's take a quick look at it. Right, so for instance, Haskell GI, or let's say, yeah, no, I think Haskell GI, or GI GST, that's one of the things. Yeah, GI GST is right here, and version 1023. Let's see how recent or not that is. Yeah, that's the latest one, so happy to use that. Okay. If we'd like to see what package version it selects for stable release, then change the branch name like this. Okay, these curated package sets correspond roughly to a stackage resolver. Stable releases correspond to stackage LTS resolvers, and the Nix packages and stable release correspond roughly to a stackage nightly resolver. Main difference is that Nix packages curation extends beyond Haskell packages. Nix packages also curate non-Haskell dependencies too. You can also see which version our project selects if we build our project using Nix build. Okay, let's do that. Nix build --attr streamline release.nix. A copy file does not exist. Haddock face. What's going on there? Using turtle 1520. Okay, so I think that's what we wanted, right? Yeah, using turtle blah. The result might vary. Indeed, they do. Note that Nix packages only create the Haskell package set to build. So what is this not build, whereas the other thing did build? Streamline. Component graph. using Haskell GC 810 bin. Must be because of the docs. Or the license. Linking, running tests, haddock phase, installing, license copy file does not exist. I think this is a common Haskell thing. I just need to specify. Yeah, so it's related to cabal.nix. Clone spec and then make the following blah.nix, technical detail, blah. Copy file does not exist. Workaround by manually calling the cabal.nix and passing the -- subpass option. Basically makes the builder seed into a subdirectory of src. Yeah, we don't have the subdirectory. So is it the hspec? What's the problem here? We have a changelog file. What is it trying to copy? License. Correct. Okay, so we did build it, and we are back into our changing version. Suppose that we want to build against Turtle 130 for whatever reason. We require a much larger change to our project derivations, which you can see in release 1.nix. Wow. By default, import Nix package blah will implicitly use an empty or user-defined configuration in Nix packages config.nix or Nix packages config. The above configuration overrides that behavior with an explicit config defined within the same file, this config. New derivation now references a total.nix file generated for cabal2nix by running cabal2nix cabal turtle132 to turtle.nix. Hey, that's kind of nice. If you try to run that and the command fails with this error message, when binary does not exist, then run cabal update. Okay, so in case we want to be against like the most recent version of a turtle, then or a dependency, then we have a trick to do so. Okay. Sounds great. Uses a call package function utility function to tie the knot when updating dependencies. When we change turtle this way, every package that depends on turtle, including our project 1 package, will pick up this new version of turtle. Nice. Can't upgrade Turtle 130 alone because Turtle 130 depends on op parse applicative 013. The version of op parse applicative that Nix selects is not in this range. The time of writing Nix picked up blah blah is the default version. We can override the op parse applicative version using the exact same trick, and release 2.nix contains this additional override. Op parse applicative, where op parse applicative is also generated by cabal2nix. Now that we've overridden op parse applicative, we're running into different kind of build failure, which we're using a sufficiently new revision. If we are using a sufficiently new revision of Nix packages, counts on missing dependency quick check to 280. Newer version of Nix packages select a newer version of quick check than what Turtle 132 requires. So if you want to build against that specific version of Turtle, then we need to also pin quick check in the same way in release 2a. So we get a quick check pinned, and we generate it that way. However, that will still fail to build due to a test suite failure in op parse applicative 013. That's good to use a real life example like this. Nix build attr project 1 blah blah. test fail. We can instruct Haskell Nix to disable the test suite for our parse applicative dependency. Okay, wow, no check. And then we use that new Nix file, okay, and then the build succeeds. Okay, blah, builds. And we can look at the difference between our parse applicative Nix and our parse applicative 2.nix, see what's changed, and it's just do check equal false. Suppose that we wish to retrieve our turtle from GitHub instead of from Hackage. Nice, so we can do that too. Haskell Nix with the Git repo and the revision, lovely. And the difference between turtle and Nix is that the dependency list changed and there's a new src field pointing to the GitHub repository. Very good. You can also depend on local source checkouts. Hey, if you check the turtle repository in some other directory, then all you have to do is run path to turtle.nix. Very good. Changing the compiler. You can also override the GHC version using to compile your project, which release 5 Nix illustrates. And that's with compiler. By making compiler GHC blah. Cool. So that's all good. Manage non-Haskell dependencies. There we go. Finally, that's what we want. Nix can also provide non-Haskell dependency for your project. This project provides an example of a small program that invokes libtar to open and close a tar file. And so that's in extra libraries, and there's also cbits in there. I see. So let's just try the pkg depends. How about that? Let's just reactivate our previous dependencies here and even copy our, because now it feels like we're in good shape to actually so we're in the shell and we can return in it. And will that just work? No, no, because we need to do the cabal.nix thing, cabal2nix, and then we enter the Nix shell. I see GStreamer. It just picked it up. What? It just worked. I mean, let's keep our build and see, but yeah, I so much prefer this than the Haskell2nix thing. Wow. Linking. Cabal run. Streamline. Up to date. Use the Streamline over. It's working. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, amazing. This. I mean, Gabriel Gonzalez, man. This guy has done so much for the Haskell community. Really, really an awesome person. So I don't have a Vorbis file, but finally we're going to be able to do some Haskell. Oh my god. But maybe not this time though, but the program runs. Let's see. I think okay, I'll do just a tiny bit. I am getting really tired, but I want to try and play a video file instead of an audio file, because that's more difficult. And for that, we need a file source. That's all good, but we'll need an auto video sync. And in fact, I think we just need like a decode bin, basically. I think that decodes automatically. And then we just pipe source sync and source conv and sync. So I think if we do source conv and sync like so, then we should actually be in pretty good shape. Source to the mixer. Okay, yeah, I think it's just actually it's just source to conv and then I think sync. and then we don't need the event stuff. And yeah, so, and then it means that I should be able to cabal run streamline with some video file. I should have, do I have even one running around? I'm not recording here. Maybe I'll record for a second. How about that? Start recording. And I'll do, I don't know, like stop that, and I'll move to another tab, and then I'll stop the recording. And then we'll check out where that stuff is. Where is it? Maybe in OBS, show recordings. There we go. I have an MKV file in the home folder. So let's say it's home, and there it is, MKV. GStreamer installation is missing a plugin. Well, I like that. I like to hear that. Is it the MKV plugin, or is it the video sync? Why don't I have more logging? Maybe GST init will give us some logging. What will give us some logging? End of stream error. Ah, right. So we're getting this error there, the GST error. Okay, let's try what's in debug. Okay, maybe dot. I think I could install HLS as well. Yeah, no, you're not happy with that. What's the type of debug, by the way? Type of debug. Let's just say, let's just take this. How about that? Oh, hey, we do get debug. Missing decoder MPEG-4. Oh, yes. Haskell, thank you. My instincts with Haskell just work, whereas with Nix, they're completely all over the place. Oh, boy. Okay. So, MPEG-4, AAC. Okay, where is it? GStreamer, it's probably just in one of the GST thingies. And the GStreamer, it's probably in the good plugin, so maybe GStreamer plugins, MPEG-4. I guess that's one. It's another one. AV deck, AV enc. Which one will? Which one do you need? Are you just want one that can do that? H.264, MPEG-4 AAC, and N264. Yeah. Those are probably all in the same spot. I think S264 has the yeah, there's the open one. So let's see, where is that one? It's in bad plugins. So we probably need to just add those as dependencies here by saying GST plugins bad -10, something like that. Called without required argument GST plugins bad. Make package set. Yeah, so let's Nix REPL. How are we supposed to do this? Oh yeah, it's this crazy thing. Okay, I think if we comment this and give out to Nix and Nix shell, and I think if I Nix REPL, yeah, no, I can't really. Can I? No, I can't Nix REPL. It's trying to get the. It's trying with the default.nix, right? And shell.nix won't work. Oh, it will. Do I have the packages here? What do you have here? Yeah, I don't think that's what I want. I think I want streamline.nix. No. Okay, I'm still confused. Back in the Nix confusion for a second. All args base, those look like they're all inside the. Well, they're inside the amp, right? Which, because we are in the amp. So hold on. Then if we Nix shell, if we don't go in there, so right. So if we Nix, actually, if we Nix REPL, import release.nix. That doesn't work. Import, right? Import release.nix. That only has Streamline in it. But Streamline doesn't have all the things. Yeah, it has what we were looking at, more or less, plus the amp. And the amp has some of the other stuff, which are more Haskell-y things. Yeah, I think that's still not what we want. Okay, I think I remember now. We do YOLO equals import of niv sources.nix. Not niv.sources.nix. Then we do YOLO2 equals import of YOLO.nix packages with an empty thing. Don't know why I didn't have to do an empty thing there. Maybe it will fail. And then YOLO2 dot, no, YOLO2 has all the things. So GST, yeah, GST all, and then GST plugin bad. So it's not version, so maybe we'll find it automatically if I do GST plugin bad. Let's try. We do the Kebab.nix and we do the Nix shell. And it says called without required argument. So that I'm not sure I understand. Why? So this is what, right, okay. Yeah, okay. Yes. So I continue to read because that's clearly in the next section and that I haven't read. Native dependencies and release.nix, Haskell packages project 2, core package. I think that's the thing. So that's a bit, it's really ugly. In fact, it's not just a bit ugly. And that threadly tar, we need to update our release.next to specify which next package the tar dependency comes from. Executable pkg config depends. Right, so it's not a system depends, it's a pkg config depends. But I think we still need to pass it somehow, and this is not going to do it. Or more clearly, this is not going to do it. So yeah, right, when you call package, is it just that we say gst plugins bad equals pkgs dot gst all one dot gst plugins bad? That would be nice if it was this. And I think we need a semicolon, and we need to indent properly, and then we need to shell. Ho ho ho. I am starting to make my way around these things. Oh boy. GST plugin days, yes, I like to see this. And it's in the cache as well, amazing. Yeah, yes. I'm not sure whether you were there, but this was a blog post that I saw, which was teaching how to do these kind of things. And yeah, super useful. Super useful. Yeah, I think I actually closed the window, but yeah, calling it YOLO is fun. Boy. Okay, so we did build, and so it means that we can what? Cabal build. Could not aha. Conflict pkg config package JC plugin bad any not found in the pkg config database. Yeah. So not exactly there yet. Do we need to call it any? I don't know. Maybe we don't make it a maybe we make it like an executable system depends, which is done by making it a extra libraries instead of pkg config depends. So let's try that. And we exit the shell, we rebuild the next thing, and we next shell. And then it should not have to rebuild anything, yeah. And, well, okay, run, why not? That's missing or bad C library GST plugin, yeah. Yeah. So we're not exactly there yet. Is there something about pkg config here? Or is it just going to be maybe in the next lesson, or maybe not? Okay. So pkg config depends. I mean, we could try to make it any. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can try to make it 1.0. Do I have pkg config here? I don't. But I'd like to have it, and I think it's possible to add tools. I just don't know how. So so I'll get back to next with the pkg config depends and customizing Haskell projects. That's a crazy ass project. What about if we just add it in our release thingy by just saying, oh, because it's not a Haskell dependency. Right, so maybe it's GST plugin. Oh, I want, what do I want? I want pkg config. Is that gonna work? Don't know. pkg config. Oh, holy moly, it works. Mod version, GST plugins bad. Do we have a pkg config path? We do. It does have the GST plugin bad in it. Oh, so I need to specify them by name. GStreamer plugin's bad. Is that what it is? Nope. GStreamer plugin's bad is not it. Okay, fine. We shall continue going into it. Plugins bad, and check out the PC. Just GStreamer 1 and version. Do we need to specify the version? 1.18.2? No. Dash dev. Is it the dash dev? No. No, I mean that thing was already in the path. So if it's in the path, then it's going to load the PC files, and it should map them by name, so -10. Oh yeah. Okay, so GStreamer. Right, so not even that, but even GStreamer plugins bad 1.0. We've learned these things before. We can leave pkg config in there. And we say GStreamer plugins bad 1.0 here, and we exit, we Haskell Nix, and we shell, and doesn't work. Call without, yes, okay. That's all good. Yeah, it still wants GStreamer plugins bad without the dash. Okay, that's fine. We can provide that. It might be even preferable. And we give out that Nix and Nix shell. And cabal run. Aha! So it found the GStreamer thingies, but it hasn't found GStreamer proper. Well, how about we give you GStreamer proper, just like so. I mean, I thought we did that before. I think we did, but maybe, well, right, okay. Maybe we need to also depend on GStreamer proper in here. I mean, I thought we depended on that already, but maybe we need to specify the pkg config dependency in here. Let's try again. Oh yeah, it compiles. And we use it with our video file. What is it called? Where is it? 2000 blah. Unrecognized target syntax. Okay, yeah, right. Streamline. Well, actually it's built. So if I run stream, can I even run Streamline now? Maybe not. Okay, let's try Streamline like this. All right. It did find the GST matroscale and define symbol GST video content light level add to caps. Video parsers. Internal data stream error. Okay, that must be further system dependency from GStreamer. SRT, maybe. Filter plugin. Cannot open shared object. Modify symbol. Okay, yeah. Oh, plugin path. Yeah, there's a bunch of env variable that needs to be set, but I would imagine that they are actually set by the Nix derivation. It's the type of stuff that normally are done by Nix, but they're not, or at least not obviously. Right, sometimes these things also don't pollute, try to avoid polluting the environment by being in the by having wrappers. But it did find that it's using an MVK maybe we need to install the good plugins too. It seems like it had installed them, but and maybe base as well somehow. There is a base thing, right? We're looking at this. Well, it was actually in the pkg config path, and we had 118.2 bad, but that's pretty much it. So normally these things come, normally they come with base. I think it's just streamer base, isn't it? And I think we're going to need to pass them all, which is fine. If they exist, yeah, we were looking them up in the REPL with the YOLO stuff. YOLO2.gst all dot, and we have GST plugins base. That's the one, I think. And usually we want GST, well, is it DevTools? Maybe libav actually. Wasn't there an error about libav there? Video parser. I know libav is to interconnect. libav is FFmpeg, right? It's to interoperate with FFmpeg. So that's not it. Editing services, that's what we want. And override, I don't know what that is. So let's just have bad, base, and good. And I think we should be good. Plugin base, good, bad. Can't write good. Why not? Bad, base. Let's just delete all that stuff that just didn't get us anywhere. Yeah, I think we actually don't even need that. And Cabal.Nix, I think, was also an experiment. Yes. And Cabal Project Local, well, there's no need to have one if it's empty. Okay, so why don't we have goods there? I thought they were there. GHT plugin goods, they seem to be installed. So how come they're not in the pkg config path? Do they forget to install themselves in the pkg config path for some reason? It looks like they might. Okay, well, let's see if they have a lib folder with, well, oh, maybe it doesn't have a pkg file? So it has all these things, which clearly we would want, but it's not a pkg config thing. Okay, so maybe we don't list it here. So yeah, then you think it's unexpected. So then we just install it as its own thing outside. And run this. And still, same error, undefined symbol. They closed it. Broken the bug. Zero documentation and record environment. Yeah, usually GST plugin path is the super important thing. Do we have this GST plugin path? We don't. So how come we don't? Is it because GStreamer is installed outside? What happens if we install it here? I'm curious. It seems like we can totally install things outside of that Haskell thingy. So then it means we make all of this go away, and we go back to Nix and we Nix shell. And then we keep our build. You seem happy. And what about GST plugin path? Still empty. And how is that? Oh, then you don't see the decoder. Yeah, you're missing plugins. So yeah, what's up with the plugin path and Nix there? Huh. Decided they weren't sure about having it. Interesting. Okay, how does this end? It's supposed to have been fixed. Plugin detection. Yeah, there's a thing for that, right? GST discover. That stuff's not installed. I think maybe it's the DevTools that needs to be installed for this. So let's install DevTools. DevTools and DevTools. Exit, and we actually don't need to come out to Nix here. And yeah, I think the fact that I provide them this way doesn't necessarily, it means that it attaches this to, well, actually it's not even there anymore. GStreamer doesn't show up right here. So maybe there's something I don't understand here. PH config does show up. No, it doesn't. What? Okay, something has changed and I didn't notice. Redis.next, streamline labs. All right, here are the dev tools. And discover, I think, is the thing I'm thinking of. Or is it? I think inspect actually has a feature for checking out plugins, doesn't it? Print all elements, list the plugin contents. It takes a plugin name, or it prints all. I think maybe just -a. And so you seem to have plenty of things. Okay, so let's give our run again. So I'm not sure how that's supposed to work. How do we get more things into the env? Let's build the Docker containers. Simplify dependency management. What is this? Overrides. That looks like some kind of rewrite. You did say something about having extra tools, but I don't see it now. Was it in Nix Basics? I think it was the reason why you did this refactoring. Second lesson that makes it easy to add additional build products. Now, it's build products for the project. Build and test dependency or extra tool they're relying on. But yeah, it's not necessarily putting more things in the shell. So what's the dealio with having more things in the shell? Maybe, what does the shell, there's no shell here. No shell here. Why aren't you using shell anymore? Yeah, it's a bit weird that at the beginning the recommendation is to use the shell, but the shell is not even listed there. To use a shell.nix file. Right, I didn't dream that. Shell.nix. Let's try it still. This Haskell Nix magic that seems to maybe break things. Let's try it. -- shell. Let's maybe back that one up. Okay. And okay, is it been built in there? In Nix shell. Looks fancy. Probably means we have to Nix shell streamline now. And you want some GST plugins bad inside your thing, but you're supposed to receive them, except maybe now we call you differently. Probably the case. Let's look at Haskell Nix. And there's the shell option. Not not there. There's a shell. Generate output suitable for Nix shell. What was the error? F at streamline.nix code without required argument. Streamer plugin's bad. Executable pkg com if it depends. That's the stuff that was. So that's the F. And then call package F blah. Yeah, so it seems like it just doesn't work properly. I suppose what's in here should be, yeah, so it just doesn't work. Okay, fine. Thing, and we delete that. Oh no, we don't need to delete it because it never was generated, in fact. And we get the same error. GStreamer DevTools is the problem now. Yeah, okay. So let's try and move those out, if that makes sense. Don't know if it does. Don't think it does. It does. Okay, so let's try to run Streamline again. Compiles links and fail to the plugin again. libgst and define symbol. Reason not linked. Hold on, reason not linked? I hope that's not my Haskell code, that's wrong. That's totally possible because I did this really fast without thinking. We know that onPad added is not used. We're not going to use the bus call. We can therefore remove the get bus. We do set the location. We use the decode bin. Well, it's called audio player, but really now it's video player. And there should be a video file of sorts. And at the pipeline, add all other elements to the pipeline, link the element together by starting with source to conf, and then just linking conf to the output, which is the audio output, which is called sync. And this just does just the element link. So let's just write this in a simple manner. I think this is really what we want. And we don't need this at this point, at least. And then now playing, we don't get now playing displayed, right? No, we don't. No, we do get now playing displayed, yeah. Then state playing, and then running, and then sharp run loop, huh? Really? Is that a thing? Is that really a thing? Hold on, was that in the code? GA example and GST hello world. Yeah, wow. So there's a function called hash run somewhere. Huh. And then return stop in. We get return stop in playback. Yeah, right there. And then in between, it's just the pipeline. It's just a run loop that's running. And then we pass it down to GStreamer really. So let's just try like GST play of die file recording, and that actually does work. Do, I don't know, like wow, totally stop works. That, and I'll move to so GST works, tab, and then I'll stop it. But clearly the environment somehow doesn't. Or maybe I'm not doing the right pipeline to play basic videos. So GStreamer play basic MKV file and the auto video sync. Is that how it's called? Video convert and auto video sync. So maybe we use video convert instead of the code bin. How about that? That's right, we don't do the bus thingies, but why are you waking up to this just now? Source remove. Right, because you need to just keep our build, right? But what's your deal? 123? Oh, yeah, sure. Running? Is it? I don't see it. It says it's running, but I don't see a window. Okay, well, I was reacting to signals, and it's not completely not doing bad things. That's some dynamic linking there, just as an example, I think. It's not crashing anymore. I suppose we're getting the right pipeline, but let's try the GST launch with this pipeline with file src location equals this. Oopsie. GST launch file src location equals this, not this. Bang, video convert, bang, auto video sync. Oh. Internal data stream error. Maybe you need some. No. Strange. Let's do the test, the video test src. That works. So what's wrong with file src then? It is location, right? File src and location. Or does it need to be absolute path? Not the problem. Pipeline doesn't want to pre-roll. No such file. Yeah, that's correct. No such file. Okay, fine. So it's home is what we want. Home, not with the parenthesis. No such file. What do you mean, no such file? Home June 20 blah, right? Oh, right, without the escaping, if it's in. Okay, so this time, say reason non-negotiated. Huh. Okay, let's do MKV here. Try a simple example for MKV playing. I don't know if we could do GST play, GST launch, MKV. That's complicated. The whole demux thing. Is there a way to see which pipeline GST play creates? How to know which pipeline GST play creates? Audio sync, video sync, shuffle, no interactive, gapless, flags, verbose. So let's try the verbose. Start recording, and I'll do cut it. And what do we have? Way too many things. Here we go. Now playing. I use this play bin, which itself uses URI decode bin. So GST pipeline MKV decode bin. Okay. File src, location blah. Yeah, it's doing all of the, it needs to do the demuxing. It's curious. I thought that this could be done fairly automatically these days. When is this from? 5 years ago. So yeah, I think if we look at something more recent, pipeline samples, MP3 to MKV, play MKV file with video. Yeah, no, it's still a pretty goddamn complex pipeline, huh? Fine. Let's try it. Launch file src. I mean complex. It's not too bad. Matroskar dmux. Name equal dmux. Dmux. Video underscore 0. Then decode bin. And then video convert. And then auto video sync. Cannot create an environment h26 parse. So now you have a problem with the plugins. Not linked. Did I forget to link a thing? I mean, I'm not sure why we give it a name. Maybe just to say that it's the default stream. File src, location blah, matroska dmux, decode bin, video convert, auto video sync. Missing element, h26 file, high profile decoder. I think that's because this one is actually in the ugly plugins. Or in libav. Oh, maybe it's in libav. Okay. So I think this can be installed like so. libav. libav. Exit. Nix shell. Apparently it's not it. Oh, different error. Delayed linking failing. Ah, okay, yeah, no, that's because that one was polluted. Yeah, still h264 for parse. Maybe it's in the ugly plugins. Ugly. And ugly. And exits and come out to Nix and Nix shell. Okay, building some more stuff. libmpeg 2, maybe that will work. No. Still, that doesn't find h264 parse. This is by default. h264. Video parser bad. h264 parse. Is it because some stuff is inside this and some stuff is outside this? Well, if so, then actually I should be able to run this, except I don't know how to do this. I was going to say run this from the Haskell code, but No, I think I should be able to run it from the Nix shell. I mean, I am able to run GST play after all, so it is finding some way to play it. H.264 hard profile. So maybe I need to give it more hints on how to decode. Let's see. Source, just so decode bin. Yeah, I'm surprised that we don't use a decode bin. GST decode bin. I thought that this was something pretty good to decode stuff. Automatically constructs a decoding pipeline using available decoders and demuxers via auto-plugging. Yeah, I think this is a really good, easy thing. And there's a decode bin 3. What is that? Oh, okay. Well, let's try it. And put this maybe instead of, or let's put a decode bin just right there. And decode bin 3. And the decoder. And we say decode, and we plug conf, no, actually we plug source to decode. I think I should have tried this in the GHT pipeline first. Let's do it. There is a decode bin right there. What am I talking about? Maybe we just don't demux then. Let's try not to demux. Missing element. Maybe they're statically linked inside the GHT play. Still seems like it has having trouble finding plugins. GST inspect. I think that's H.264 parse. Well, no, the previous one was H.264 parse. And this seems to be found easily. And seems looking bad, and it has that libgst video parser that we were missing before. And yeah, it seems fairly happy. But it does still say that there's an undefined symbol. But isn't that maybe just a warning? The important bit is the missing element here, I think. GST parse no more paths. Not false. Pass it a URI maybe just instead. There is a thing called play bin, that's true. And we're using just play bin, it seems like, not version 3, I don't think. Play bin, decode and render media and given generic URI. Uses decode bin, URI, decode bin, play sync, and play bin. I mean, why not, right? If our goal is to just display something on screen. It is an element. Clearly, this doesn't give us the API, and not even a link. That's strange. plugin.uri. Type plugin 3. Standalone, everything in one abstraction for your video player. Still experimental. GST launch URI block. Start recording, and I'll do, I don't know, like seems to be playing. Stop that, I cannot see a window. Tab, and then I'll stop it. It still does these things, but they are not the actual errors. How about if I use plugin 2? Start recording. No element plugin 2. How about plugin? Start recording, and I'll do run as well. I just don't see a window. Stop that, and I'll move to tab and something. Then I'll stop it. Oh, is it because of display? Emitting the video window in your application. We create their own window. Plugin 3 doesn't create window. Just has an 11. This works. It looks like buffering. It takes a while to buffer. 480p. How come it's taking so long? Maybe maybe there's some throttling. Yeah, works. Wow, rebuffers. Okay. Start recording, and I'll do, I don't know, like stop that, and I'll move to another tab, and then I'll stop it. start recording, and I'll do, I don't know, like stop that, and I'll move to another tab, and then I'll stop it. Yeah, no, I'm not dreaming. It's not, for some reason it's not playing in a window here. Is it because I mean, here it also says that there's a problem with the decoder. Yeah, as I said, that's the MKV. For the WebM, it didn't say that. So it could be, it says Windows was closed, so it could be just that really it is about the H.264. Maybe it's because the H.264 decoder is unfree and that we need to activate that somehow. But I think we already have unfree, except maybe not in Nix packages. Maybe we need to do this specifically somewhere in our release.nix, maybe, like config equals unfree true, for instance, something like that. Exit Nix shell, unexpected argument config. That's niv, yeah. That's Nix packages. Doesn't seem to really change anything that I can see. And I'll do, I don't know, like running anything. Stop that, and I'll move to another spot tab, and then I'll stop it. But GST Play doesn't output these errors. We could say use playbin 3, see if it works. This is where we have a sense of whether this technology works for us. Use playbin 3. Let's start recording. Yeah, that works just fine. So why, when we do is there a problem when we do GST launch? GST launch doesn't create a window. Outputting to Nix display window. OS X. I mean, okay, let's try XOS. Means are not found. That's really the only thing. GST plugins. I think in our case this is now solved, right? Yes. Oh, using GStreamer 1 tools with GStreamer 010 plugins. Okay, I see. Yeah, this shouldn't be GST. Okay, do we have a GST plugins system path? No. I think this must be in the wrapper for like GST, like all of the GSTs. Actually, let's look at what the wrapper, maybe the wrappers are different. Not a text file, so that's a binary. GST launch 1.0. That's a wrapper, and it put the plugin system path in there. So yeah, I think GST play must be static, would have all the plugins statically linked. And yeah, it exports specifically this path. And that has the good and the bad and the ugly in there. Actually has some stuff twice, which is strange. But maybe because I don't know why, but okay. But it seems like actually it's not just once, like it's not just twice, it's like many times. I know this is base, but then you have bad 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, everything is quadrupled, it looks like. Not sure why. Not sure why, but it shouldn't break things. Is libavy? Libavy is not linked in there. Okay. But that's maybe because it's outside. Okay. But at least GST launch has all the plugins. It does say fail to load plugin though. So maybe there is some kind of mismatch there. That's the recording again. That's the recording. Doesn't launch anything. And yeah, when I play with Playbin 3, that's the recording. Yeah, it works as well. And I'll do. So I should be able to use Playbin 3 here, and that's the recording matter. And I'll do why not, and clearly it's the fail to load plugin, even though this says warning here. I mean, oh, hold on. Yeah. It does say missing element and undefined. So it does look related, really. What if I try to play something else than this video? What if I try to play well, what if I try to play the web-based thingy that was well, that worked actually, right? it did create a window. So it did create a window and it didn't have any errors. So it is really format specific, and for some reason GST Play doesn't have that problem. But again, maybe it's because this has everything statically linked, and so it won't have that problem. Yeah, let's search for this again. H264 part backlisted. Could it be this? I think this worked. It does work, but so is this the same file name? MWJ4, yeah. So no clocking. So that seems to load fine. Even though this says failed to load plugin. But this undefined symbol thing, do we get the same error they get? Defined undefined symbol. It's a bunch, but it's not exactly the same one. So this could be something about a mismatch between plugin versions and possibly underlying libraries, maybe? I mean, it says that it wants this high-profile decoder element. Is that something that we should have somewhere in the plugin? These are path templates, element properties. It's missing the high-profile decoder. Maybe that's the real error here. Streamer high-profile decoder. Hey, libav seems to be the thing. So so I thought I installed libav. Maybe we need to make it a dependency like the other plugins. And that would mean here as well. That's something we indeed haven't tried yet, I don't think. libav. It's not plugins, it's just libav. And then we exit, and we Haskell Nix, and we Nix shell. Hey. No. Different error. Yeah, all that stuff is proprietary. I think that's the problem. libav codec 54 or libav codec 58. Yeah, I see. Okay, NixOS libav codecs. Probably FFmpeg. libav codec dev. id.conf, Nix specific usage questions. Nix doesn't even show up there, so correct blah. EBV FFmpeg 4 BVC blah AV codec. So there is a thing called the AV codec, and maybe we just add it. We want to find out where it is. Where do the codecs go? Enable AV codec library, da da da. AV codec headers, lib AV codec SO, that's definitely what we would like. And it's related to an OpenGL fix-up, okay, don't know why. AV codec library, true, build AV codec library. Or maybe it's just AV codec then. It is not. Dependencies. AV codec library means AV util library. Call it a feature. It must mean that at compile time it's passed as a flag. So maybe we just do ffmpeg ffmpeg 4 then, or ffmpeg simply. Part of the stuff. ffmpeg. Let's see, ffmpeg. Yeah, I suppose 4, huh? We might even want to yeah, no, let's try like this. Don't Nix shell. Oh yeah, no, do Nix shell actually. Seems like you have the stuff already. Oh, we progress, I think. No, we regress. Seems like we have all 3 errors now at the same time. So we have the undefined symbol 1, we have a new undefined symbol, and we have the MPEG 4 AEC one with an undefined symbol. So you failed to load this. Maybe I can LDD this. everything. Linux VDSO. A whole bunch of stuff. But you would assume that Nix knows what it's doing with dependencies, right? GST-libAV. Yeah, there's definitely a new set of errors with this Nix, with the FFmpeg full now in here. Is that going to be deterministic here? No, it looks like we now just have more errors. I do have libAV codec here. Did I? Yeah, no, I didn't rebuild with this because I think libAV codec doesn't exist. Well, it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that we haven't found it. AV codec library. It's supposed to be just true if we get FFmpeg full. But could it be that about non-free licensing? It doesn't seem to be related to any H.264 or MPEG-4 things, though maybe AAC. Maybe we need to build libAV with some flags. That's another option, right? GStreamer libAV. libAV. Go package libAV. Let's go to the file and master and libAV. With system libAV true and libAV no. libAV is actually FFmpeg. Assert with system libAV not null. GST libAV 110.4. RTPL plus with system libAV. So I suppose we have built with system libAV. So if I Nix build but not with default, I think I've actually ran the Nix build from inside the Nix shell. Yeah, so it's all fine. We just need to run it from outside now, exit, and because I want to see what's up in the result folder. Doesn't seem to work for the ugly package for some reason. Base ugly and release should be passing ugly, but maybe not correctly for some reason. I don't know why these things end up being like this. And I need to give out to Nix. And the libAV thing also doesn't work as dependency at this level. So we need to move it out. Okay. Yeah. And then if we look into results, we just have our streamline binary. And if well, let's try to run this from here, maybe it will work. Might say it's not playing, but it doesn't play anything. I could also try to install GStreamer on my machine, but that would be cheating, right? I think that would be cheating. So yeah, I can't find out in this way at least how libAV was built. Supposed to have the streamer libAV. Let's try our pipeline again. That's that recording. And I'll do, I don't know, like, it looks like it runs that, and I'll move with, I suppose maybe stuff moved around then. It just doesn't find this, which is supposed to be provided by libAV. And so if I do gst inspect, then what am I supposed to miss there? Because it's not the parsing, clearly. It's the high profile decoder, but where is that supposed to be? A high profile decoder. You say it's in libAV, but how is it called in libAV? PST libAV page 264 high profile decoder. (2013) SRT. Oh, that looks like Nix based stuff for for SRT. That's really cool. So that's for 114 though. This is all interesting. Minus P, I suppose, means package, right? But I think that means the same when we import all the things, right? Yeah, I'm not really even sure about this, but that's the recording. That's the worst thing. Video sync, actual sync. Okay, to see this of shortcuts. Let's do -v again. That's the recording. And you already got pin 3. X metro scale. H264. Profile high. H264 parse. So that detects this H264 parse. It uses a C parse. Then just passes all this directly to play bin. I know it's still URL decode. Is it trying several things? A different profile? Not possible. Proxy pad. H264. File high. MPEG-4 true row. File LC. So is it trying a different decoder then? Looks like maybe it is trying a different decoder. PUH264. Multi-Q. 420. DC concat pad. It's even looking for some audio, which you would expect. This is the temptation. You mean to install it system-wide instead of in the project? Yeah, you're right. It is tempting, but no. GC multi-flag, play sync. Auto video sync. Ends up using XV image, I think. The fact that display bin 3 just doesn't. Alright, let's start recording. And I'll do, I don't know. It's funny that it looks a bit like it works here. Stop that. But I think it contains the video sync in it, right? Yeah, not pipe. Bank. Yeah, it contains it. But maybe if we inspect playbin 3, it will give us some options we can use. Playbin 3. Sync handling, audio sync, buffer duration, delay, AV offset, circuit ratio, flags. Subtitle. filter multi-view. Video sync, stream combiner, visualization elements, some signals, and it has a play sync in it. Yeah, that's what we thought. Yeah, so no, there's nothing to say here. It's just this H.264 high profile decoder. GST inspect 10 and high profile. Yeah, so there isn't anything with the high profile decoder, right? That's that record. So it's just that it just doesn't find this this plugin. H.264 is there, it's the parser, and that's it. And it's in video parser is bad. Just doesn't find anything else. Why? It's supposed to be in libav, but we're not 100% sure of that. We're supposed to have libav maybe in because of this. But I suppose we could try to do the Nix shell invocation with -p. That would be an interesting one. What is that going to do? I think it's going to do nothing, because I think that's already what we're doing. But it's copying a thing, but it's copying version 1.16.2. That seems wrong. I think that's the NixOS version, not the Nix, the NIV version there. So if we go without the thing, then GST libav, how do we know? It's not easy. Okay, to move that thing. Nix list derivations in a shell. Show derivation. Shell blah. Echo base inputs. Cool. Oh, show me your environment stuff. Tons of stuff. Echo base input. There's nothing in there. Builder. Yeah, we saw all of that seem to be in there. No. Working directory. No more than a temp directory created by Nix build, but the current. Therefore, hello 210 has been unpacked there. Derivation defines the variable shell hook. Be evaluated. Okay, let's see where we need to put shell hook for it to work. Not here. Oh, that's in release. Yeah, so we have this weird, I don't even know what this really is. So maybe, how about if we do this? Still not. So what's import release.next? Yeah, that makes sense. And what's streamline? It's just that derivation. And what's env? Just this GC shell for streamline. And so let's look at those things. What's in there? Yeah, that looks like that's really all the dependencies, indeed. And what's in the other one? Something that should be a shell hook, but visibly we don't, in fact, have that. Because this doesn't work. Okay, let's try something else. Let's try let release equals import.release.next. And shell equals release.streamline.env in shell, and just check that this does the same thing. I think it does. Yeah. And so my thought would be that if we did this, then that would actually extend the shell, the .env attribute map with a new shell hook. But maybe, oh no, sorry, with this. But it doesn't. So I'm misunderstanding what, okay, THC Nix, how to override shell hook. Pretty simple shell.nix. My Haskell package is shell4. It looks like, again, a fairly different way to do things. Inherit shell. Shell4 is, I think, what Haskell.nix used. This is not pretty here. It's starting to be hard to read. Clearly, shell hook here just doesn't work. Nix expression language. Let's find this / and make sure it does what we think it does. Functions, it's an operator, isn't it? Update, return a set consisting of attributes in E1 and E2 with the later taking its precedence over the former. That's what I thought, but apparently not quite so. Not quite so. How do you get the thing in the, how do you get the .drv? By importing release.nix and .env and so on. Okay, how about this? Still no hello. Still no cigar. Let shell. Inherit shell. I wonder what this is. And maybe shell4. I mean, this is a really different way to do things. Why are there so many different ways to do things? Maybe it's just because it moves really fast. Heuristic shell to get a shell, and XBLTR exit to build the executable. This is May 2020. Current tooling works well. Haskell Nix. Inherit shell. Okay. Let's try inherit shell. This shell hook right there. Yes, save. Still no hello. Yeah, I think this will confuse me more than anything. Override a Haskell package in JC.Nix. Inputs. Haskell NG. No, it's 2015. Xvar shell hook. This person has a shell hook. Dot override ATTR. Dot override ATTR takes a function that takes the old ATTRs, I suppose, and returns some new ATTRs, I imagine. Such as the shell hook. In shell. Ha! So such is the way. You need to override the ATTRs. Just merging them won't work. Or like this. This actually is not what I thought it would be. Update the latter taking precedence over the former. So it seems that E2 should be taking precedence, but I don't understand why this doesn't work. Or why this shape is somehow a good shape. But I suppose that we know how to override now. And it means we could pass more build-like things to it if we wanted to. Is that actually something that Gabriel Gonzalez was doing later on. I think it might be. Project 4. Definitely some overrides there, but not override ATTRs, just overrides. Now overrides taking some new packages and old packages. Composing overrides. Yeah. This is much beyond my understanding. This is, I think, for the multi-package project. Maybe. A different way to build the project. Nix query requisites. Huh. I want to see that. Nix store query requisites result. Just dash dash. And we get GStreamer in there. And that's it. We don't even have the plugins in here. Despite having them as pkg config depends, plugins don't appear here. Well, I actually haven't, maybe I haven't rebuilt. If I build streamline in release.nix, then I suppose that gets us only this byte, but that should at least get us the plugins, right? But it doesn't. Just gets GStreamer. And what if I ask about GStreamer? Yeah, no, that's not gonna work. Well, I suppose maybe I can query requisites of this. I can. It seems to depend on something that looks a bit like itself. It is itself. I think that's where it's supposed to be. It just ends with itself. Okay. So I guess this, what you could say, are maybe static dependencies then, and then those plugins are dynamic because they just get loaded. Maybe that's the case. So let's Nix shell again. And we have the plugin path. And the fact that this doesn't include libav. So what if we did this manually for just to check it out? Because we are supposed to have a libav in here. And it's a dev, it's dev. Does this matter that it's dev? I wonder. But, oh, this looks empty. Because it's actually libav itself that matters. This is in fact really just a wrapper, I think, right? Libav. That's what we were saying, that it's a system. It's really a system library in disguise. So is this even installed, I suppose, is one of the questions. And is there another way that we could install it? If we do -p libav, what happens? We definitely get libav stuff. And then what if we play? Then we don't have that stuff even, I suppose, because, well, the fact that this wasn't built, I think that's something that matters. So I suppose we could just libav in here. Libav. And then Excel. Start recording, and I'll do, I don't know, like, okay, well, that's where we're at, and that's, well, it's, wow, 1:30, amazing, definitely way beyond the point of diminishing returns here, been very slow, but, I mean, I suppose I should take some pleasure in the fact that this actually displays something from inside the Nix shell. So I mean, I think GStreamer is installed. Also the Haskell code compiles. It seems to be able to automate GStreamer, so that's not nothing. It's pretty much a lot of things. Plus, read a bit more about Nix. It still feels, but like it's really slowly. It still doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's slowly coming together, maybe. It's hard to make it come together because of how different the approaches to doing Haskell are. It really seems like it hasn't converged at all. But definitely quite a lot of stuff accomplished here. So I might play with this tomorrow, or I might just take Sunday off. It might be a good idea to do that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday for some more Haskell. Bye-bye.